There's a brand new star up in heaven tonight, shining down on us, glorious and bright. I'm gonna miss you every day, but I know that you're alright. There's a brand new star up in heaven tonight.
Throughout your career, you have worked with so many samples like Elvis, Johnny Cash, and Paul Simon, and many others. Is there one that you felt has been the most influential in your life?
Well, it's difficult to just, point it down to pinpoint one person is what I'm trying to say. So many great things have happened to us over the years, happened to me personally. But I have to say, singing with Elvis probably comes at the top of that list. I happened to be in the right place at the right time. I was singing in a group called J.D. Sumner and the Stamps Quartet, and we got a phone call, and we found ourselves singing on stage with the biggest star in the world back then, the king of rock and roll himself, Elvis. And it was a special time. Elvis, as I said, was the biggest star in the world. His tour was the biggest tour in the music business back then. I know you guys all know about Taylor Swift right now. Well, back then, Elvis was the Taylor Swift of that era, and he was the biggest star in the world. And to be a part of that, tour was really amazing. I have some great memories of the times I spent with Elvis. I got to know him. So it was a special time. There's no doubt about it. And I have to tell you, while I was singing with Elvis, one day I got a phone call, and it was from William Lee Golden of the Oak Ridge Boys. Now, he's the guy in our group with the long beard. He's very recognizable. You recognize him immediately. And he called me and said, their bass singer was leaving, and they wanted to know, the Oak Ridge Boys wanted to know if I would be interested in taking the job. So here I was, apparently on top of the world, singing with the biggest star in the world, but I had to make a decision, like, what do I do? And I have to admit that I was also a big fan of the Oak Ridge Boys. I really thought the group had a great deal of potential, and I wanted to be a part of the group. So I made a decision back in 1972 to leave Elvis and to join the Oak Ridge Boys. And I've never been sorry. A lot of people question that decision. How could you do that? But I believed in my heart I was doing the right thing. And now, believe it or not, 51 years later, when I look back, I think I made a pretty good decision back then because so many great things have happened to me. So Elvis, probably comes at the top of that list. And I also have to mention Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash, along with Elvis, was also a very special person. I don't think there would be an Oak Ridge Boys today if it wasn't for Johnny Cash. He was a real influence on us in the early days of our career when we were struggling. And he gave us not just financial help, but he gave us words of encouragement that when we were about to give up, we did not give up because of the encouragement that he gave us. So he was a special person as well. So those two guys, Elvis and then also Johnny Cash, probably come at, I hope I'm answering your question, but they come at the top of the list.
How many years did you sing with Elvis?
Well, I sang with Elvis for just about a year and a half. For about 2 years before I joined the Oak Ridge Boys, I told you I sang with J.D. Sumner and the Stamps Quartet. And for about a year and a half of that time, I sang with Elvis. I happened to be, as I mentioned earlier, I happened to be in the right place at the right time. When I joined J.D. Sumner and the Stamps, Elvis was looking for a new backup group. And he had a friendship that he established many years before that with J.D. Sumner. So he called J.D. Sumner up. He wanted to hire a new backup group, and I happened to be in the right place at the right time. And all of a sudden, as a young guy in my 20s, I found myself singing with the biggest star in the world, Elvis, and it was a special experience for me, to say the least. I will never forget those days.
What is your favorite song that you have made? Why is it your favorite song?
Is probably Elvira. It's the Oak Ridge Boys' biggest song. It's our signature song. It's the song that people recognize the Oak Ridge Boys by, and I have a special part on that song, the giddy up, oom papa, mow mow part. So that if I had such a thing as a claim to fame, it would be that bass line, because it's really well known. But even to this day, I have a lot of fun every time we sing that. Over 40 years later, even when we sing that song every night on stage, I love to look out in the audience when I get to that giddy up, oom papa, mow mow part, to look at most of the men in the audience trying to sing that part along with me. So it's kind of a lot of fun. But I don't know. I said that's the obvious answer, but not necessarily. I don't know that that's my favorite Oak Ridge Boys song. A song written by a good friend of ours named Eddie Raven, a song called Thank God for Kids, probably would come into that category. William Lee Golden, he's the gentleman in our group with the long beard. He looks like he could be with an ZZ Top, if girls know who that is. But he's an unusual character. He has a way of taking a lyric in a song, words in a song, and interpreting those words and then communicating those words to the audience. And you can tell when he's singing that song, Thank God for Kids, that it is touching people. It's moving people. You look into the audience, you see people holding hands, you see people hugging their kids, you see tears in people's eyes. And so you can tell it's touching people. It is a special moment in an Oak Ridge Boys show. It has been for years. So if you really push me to find one song that's my favorite, I would say the most special moment in any Oak Ridge Boys show is when William Lee Golden sings Thank God for Kids.
Can you tell us a little bit about the tour the Oak Ridge Boys are currently doing and let our listeners know about the upcoming concert at the Egyptian Theater in DeKalb?
Well, we are doing a Christmas tour right now. And, I think over the course of the years, the Oak Ridge Boys have become known for our Christmas music. We now have, I think it's either 8 or 9 Christmas albums out. And this will be our 34th consecutive year to do a Christmas tour. It's a special time of the year for the Oak Ridge Boys. And so we're looking forward to bringing the Christmas tour your way. And we're excited about it. And it's a special night. There's no question about it. And quite often, when people find out we're doing a Christmas show and it's a Christmas tour, usually the very next question they ask, even though it's a Christmas show, will we still hear Elvira? The answer to that is yes, you will. You will hear me do Giddy Up, Oom Papa, Mau Mau. And not only Elvira, you'll hear some of the Oak Ridge Boys hits that you expect to hear. But you're also going to hear every aspect of Christmas, just about. We sing about the romantic side of Christmas. Christmas can be a very romantic time of the year. We sing about the fun side of Christmas, because Christmas can be a very fun time of the year. We have a great Santa Claus. He comes out on stage. He goes down into the audience, really, and interacts with the kids. So it's a great family show as well. And we encourage parents to bring their kids to the show because it's a great way for families to spend time together around Christmas time. We also have a section in our show where we sit down in front of the fireplace and each man takes turns talking. And we talk about childhood Christmas memories, what Christmas means to us individually, and we sing Christmas songs. And so it's a time of the show where people get a chance to know the 4 Oak Ridge Boys just a little bit better. And then this is the most important part by far. We close out the show with a series of songs that talk about the real true meaning of Christmas. And that, of course, we know is the birth of Jesus and how important that is in this day and age in which we live. You girls know we've got a lot of problems in our country. There's a lot of problems in the world. And we feel like singing about Jesus and talking about the importance of Jesus in our lives is a very important thing.
That's very special. Thank you.